In Louisiana, as well as most states, a public adjuster is someone that's licensed by the state to help members of the public adjust their claims. This should mean that that person does not work for the insurance company and is not loyal to an insurance company. Of course, that's important because naturally that means a public adjuster should have your best interest at heart. A public adjuster is just like anyone else. They can be really, really great, or they can be not so great. When you're considering hiring a public adjuster, you should be looking at a few things. You should first look at what their skills are. Have they been a public adjuster for long? Do they have a background in writing estimates? What experience do they have negotiating with an insurance company? These are all important things because at the end of the day, if you're going to hire a public adjuster instead of an attorney, you're going to need that person to be able to go advocate for you. Some public adjusters can do a great job at this, but some do not have that type of experience. The second thing you should consider is reputation. I cannot overstate how important reputation is when you're considering hiring a public adjuster. There are some public adjusters here in Louisiana that have terrible reputations that insurance companies won't even work with them. Well, if you go hire someone like that and pay them hourly to work on your claim, you might literally be throwing money away because you'll end up back at an attorney's office because the insurance company ultimately would not work with that public adjuster. If on the other hand you do find a public adjuster with a great reputation that insurance companies like working with, it is possible that public adjuster will move your case forward and will move your claim forward faster. You finally need a public adjuster that is knowledgeable about actual insurance policies and claims practice. It's not just enough to have someone that knows how to write an estimate. An estimate is only a very small part of the battle. A public adjuster can write an estimate all day, but if they don't know why that damage is covered or how that damage is covered, the insurance company has no real motivation to provide payment, which is what ultimately you're seeking. When we start talking about contents and we start talking about depreciation, you need a public adjuster that understands how these work under your insurance policy, not just what they were taught online or in a school. The final thing I would add is part of this is just the feeling you get from someone. Just like if you're hiring someone or you're making friends, you might base it on the feeling you get from someone. You do have to kind of use your own judgment when you're talking to a public adjuster. Some public adjusters are really, really good salespeople, so you do need to be aware of that. But ultimately, you need to make sure the public adjuster you hire is someone that you trust. And ultimately, look, if you're in doubt, you're not required to hire a public adjuster. If you need help with your claim, you can hire an attorney that practices in this area, and if we decide it makes sense to get an adjuster to help you out, then we'll take care of that for you. So if you're currently sitting there looking at your claim, trying to figure out what your next step is, and you think it might be hiring a public adjuster, please follow that advice that I've given you to determine who a good public adjuster would be. And if you're in doubt, just give us a call and we'll talk through it together.